So now we're going to get into a section where I show you some chords that you can play on the bass. Chords that I play a lot when I'm trying to convey a musical idea to somebody, or maybe even live, you know, if I can find a good application for it. But many people consider the bass to be a monophonic instrument just because we a lot of times are holding the root note of a chord. But what people tend to forget is that we don't just play one string. There's many strings that we can play, and we can play them at the same time. It's just that our bass playing, you know, as a bass player, doesn't really lend itself to music to play chords all the time, especially if you're down in the lower register. Right. But there are some applications where maybe you might have a breakdown section, or, you know, you can fit something in the middle of a song in the upper register, and it sounds pretty cool. So let me go ahead and start off by showing you some chords. The root notes are going to be D. Okay. And my positioning is on the E string. I'm going to go to the octave where there's 2 dots and come down 2 frets, and that's my D. So I'm going to show you first a minor type chord. So root D.
Just going with you.
All right. And then we're going to hit C. So skip a string and C. It's all in the same fret. And then the next string, F.
Okay,
right?
Okay, yep.
So that's one chord that I like to use. Now, if I shift these bottom 2 fingers up 1 fret, it becomes a major sounding chord. So these notes, same D, all right? Now I'm going to go to G flat and to D flat. All right? Now, if I, from this position, take my middle finger, which is on the D flat, and shift it down back to C, it's another chord.
Gotcha.
So let's run those 3 real quick. The minor one, the major one, and then, which is a pretty cool movement. I should have went major. All right, so let me show you. That's another major sounding chord. What I did was, let's go from the major position. I'm going to bring my pointer finger, which is on the home note of D, and I'm going to go up to, this is A, not A flat, this is C. Not C, this is
G.
G.
Yep.
All right, so G. And I was here, right? So I'm going to take my middle finger and shift it down 2 frets. And if I do this, if I bridge these 2 notes and I hammer, I can do it pretty cool. Now if I move this finger from the G flat over a half step or down a half step, I get another chord. So all the chords. Cool.
Nice.
Now, let's go back to the first chord. It was a minor sounding chord. I'm going to take my ring finger and shift it down. Well, I can't shift the ring finger down. I'm going to reposition. But I'm going to bring this note down a half step. Then I'm going to keep this finger here. That's kind of an awkward position. Let me reposition. Pointer finger, ring finger here.
Wow.
All right. Last chord I'm going to show you. If I go here. So we were here. Let me see. Shift down to the note here. So those chords kind of lend themselves to each other nicely. And I'm hammering on the G here. I cheated. I did an extra chord that I didn't show you before. Let's go back to the major sounding. It was the second chord I showed you. From the minor, we went to the major. If I move the note where the middle finger is, to here, I have another chord, or if I flip-flop these. All right, let me put the last ones together. So now I've taken the bass and made it from a monophonic instrument, which it wasn't, into a polyphonic instrument, which it is.
Right.
So we put together a few chord movements that maybe you could do at home as a practice exercise so that you can learn these chords. And also, remember when we slapped and popped earlier, I was popping on the octave. But now that we have chords, I can pop on a different note. Instead of the octave, here goes the minor sounding chord. I can pop on that. All right? That was the octave. That's the chord, and you can pop on any of those notes.
Let's show them.
All right. The first one, just kind of follow along. I'm going down in whole steps.
Yeah, so after your second one, you
So I'm just shifting. I'm going to show you the first movement. From the minor sounding one, then I'm going to hit this one. Then do the same movement down a whole step, which is 2 frets.
Okay.
Down again.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Another 2 frets, whole step. And end on the major sounding chord.
Nice.
So you want to hit that on the groove?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, go.
I'll do it by myself. Now I'm going to pop it. I'm going to make this a popping exercises. So that'll make it a little bit funner to practice something like that, and it'll develop your ear too. Let's go to another progression.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. So now you know that the bass is a polyphonic instrument.
Right.
And you have the proof.
Some nice chords, man. Appreciate that. We're coming back at you with more of his techniques and tricks.